pumpkins are supposed to be dirty. So there's your ball. And what you want to do next is take toothpicks or a needle tool, anything that kind of is thin and has a point. You're going to need a point. Toothpicks are perfect. They help to keep your clay cleaner, and they cost like 50 cents for a box of, what is this, 250. So I like toothpicks. Anyways, what you want to do is take your ball, and you're not going to use the point in order to make the little lines of the pumpkin. We're actually going to use kind of this middle part here to indent as we roll around the ball. So you want to start kind of at the top and just push gently and just roll. And roll some more. Okay, so you have your pumpkin like so, and what you're going to do next is just hold it in your hands like this and squish, because pumpkins are not perfect little circles or anything. They're kind of lumpy and they have a life of their own. I'm going to go and make some of my lines a little bit darker again, and you'll be doing this a few times throughout because you're going to be touching the pumpkin and your lines are just going to kind of disappear a little bit. And at this point, see which side you really like for the front of your pumpkin, because that'll help with which way you want your stem to go. I should hold it out here. Okay, there we go. Little pumpkin, like so. So you sit down and you take the point of whatever you're using, find the middle, and push it down fairly deep. Not all the way through though. And then just kind of wiggle it, like so, so your stem can go in. Alright, so you're done with the orange. So now is a good time to go and either wash your hands off or, you know, just if you have any orange on your hands, because it will blend with your brown. So next, we're going to take, clean that off a little bit. I'm going to set this out of the way for now so I can show you. Next, you want to take your brown, whatever color you're using. I am using chocolate. That's the Sculpey clay again. But it doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. And you're going to roll it into a snake-like little piece like this. And you can use either a clay extruder, which is what I use, or you can roll it out by hand by just taking a little bit of clay. Heat that up a little bit in your hands. And if you're using air dry clay, you don't have to warm it up in your hands, you can just roll it out. So you have a little ball and you just kind of roll it and flatten it like so. And you just pull like this while you're rolling to make it thinner. And where you have your thicker parts, you just kind of use your fingers to go over that. So you roll and roll and roll that until you get to about this width. Set that aside. So you got about that width. And you only need not very much, maybe that much. Oops. And then you're going to make the ends of this pointy. Like so. And you're going to take your pumpkin again, and you're going to take your stem and stick it in just like that. So this is still a little thick, so I'm going to make this just a smidge smaller. Not that long. Okay. That's still pretty tall, but we'll see what that looks like. Let's see. I think I want this to be my front, so I'm going to just whoop, take your clay and gently, oh, I lost my point. Hold on there. Wait a second. It is not cooperating today. Okay. There you go. So you, whew, still having some trouble there. You take your clay and you just gently roll it. I want a little bit more of a, there we go. Kind of like so. So you have a little swirl in there. Yeah, like that. So there's your little swirl. And then now we're going to make the little green swirly things that come off. I don't know what the proper term is. Once again, you can roll this little snake by hand. I'm just using an extruder to push mine out here. But you can do it all by hand. Same way, you just keep rolling and pulling it so it gets really thin. When it's this thin though, it's really fragile, so you gotta be careful. And I'm gonna cut off about that much. And then you want to take your toothpick and just kind of grab the edge here, whoop, and then drop it for good effect. And then drop it again. Oh, there we go. Maybe if I move that. Okay. Pumpkins are just difficult creatures. Okay, so there you go. Then you just kind of pat that on there, nice and gently. Then you're going to take the edge of it, or kind of the middle actually, and you're just going to, oh, you're going to fix it if it comes off. I didn't tap mine on there very well. There we go. Now it's on. And you're just going to make little swirls, and you just got to be very gentle because it's quite fragile when it's this thin. And if you want some separation between your spirals, just go in and there we go. Gently pull those apart. Okay, and this one, then you can take the furthest one and bring it in close. Voila! You have a little swirl. And then now you take the, I just use whatever's left of the little green that came out, and just ball that up again. We're going to make a leaf, a really, really simple leaf. And you're just going to take, oh, that's pretty big, and that's pretty small, and that's just right. So you're going to take just about that much of your green clay, and you're going to smush it, and like so, and then you're going to take the edges and just kind of pinch and make sort of this teardrop shape, and then you flip it over to the good side, and you take your point, this is where you're going to scrape. You're just going to gently very, very gently. Oop. Oh, maybe I should do it on this. Make a little line. Let's fix that. Okay. That's good enough. And then you're just going to pick it up. And if my leaf is a little messy, the one on here is a good example. So you just kind of want it to look like that. If your leaf is messy, just kind of roll over the clay and you fix it. Okay, that's a little bit better. So you kind of pat it down. Oh, my finger's probably in the way. Pat it down. And then you want to kind of stick your needle under there, the little pointy part, and then gently curve your leaf. So that's it with the clay. Next, you want to take your pastels and not sit in them like I had earlier. And I use this Jackson Paint Assorted Soft Pastels. There's, oh gosh, lots and lots of different colors in here, which is great for clay. They were fairly cheap. I got them from Hobby Lobby. You want to make sure whatever you get, it's soft pastels. You don't want to use oil pastels. Those can't go in the oven. So, alright, so you want to take your pastels and a good size paintbrush, like that, like so. Mine still has, whew, I got pastels all over my hands. Okay, so you want to first use kind of this brown color. You don't want it to be too light, don't want it to be too dark, so just something kind of in between. And you just lightly scrape, and you'll start to get the powder from it. And you just take your paintbrush and gently dip it in. Take your pumpkin and dust it all around. Oh, I'm hiding the pumpkin. Sorry about that. So you just and then next, what you want to do is take a gray color like this, not too light, not too dark, once again, kind of a charcoaly gray, and you're going to scrape it again to get your powder, and you're just going. Okay, so sorry about that. For some reason, my camera decided it didn't want to record anymore. So, just putting the gray very gently. If you get too much, just kind of brush it off, but nice and gently in those little cracks of the pumpkin. Like so. I'm going to move those far away so I don't sit in them again. So there's your pumpkin, and then you just need to go and cook it in the oven, whatever the manufacturer tells you on your clay. I think for the clay that we use today, it's all 275 Fahrenheit, 15 minutes per 1/4 inch. So this is probably about 15 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer, but I wouldn't go any longer than 15. Because you might overcook it. But so you cook that. If it's air dry clay, just let it sit out for about 72 hours, and then it'll be nice and hard, and you can use them for little fall decorations, and you can make all sorts of different sizes, and they're lots and lots of fun to make. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.